Hello, today in the modern physics we will study the photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect. So, you know the meaning of the word electric, you know the meaning of word effect, and you might also know the meaning of a photo. So, what is meant by the photo? Photo in physics, the photo is the physics of light, especially its interaction with matter. Now, what is a light? In 19th century, that is in 1865, the scientist Maxwell's developed the electromagnetic theory of light and explained the nature of light as a electromagnetic wave. Then again the light is also categorized as visible light and invisible light. So whatever view by the our eye, that we call it as a visible light, and visible light is electromagnetic radiations within the portion of electromagnetic spectrum that can be perceived by human eye is called as a visible light. The visible light has the wavelength in the range of 400 to 700 nanometer. Then it is in between infrared and ultraviolet. It is in between infrared and ultraviolet. So wavelength of infrared is longer than the visible light, and wavelength of ultraviolet is shorter than the visible light. The infrared light has the wavelength in the range of 700 nanometer to 1 millimeter, and that of for the ultraviolet it is in the range of 10 nanometer to 400 nanometer. So in this way, this is the visible light. Then invisible light, so whatever the gamma rays, x-rays, microwaves, radio waves, all these are belongs to invisible light. Now energy in the electromagnetic wave is in the form of photon. So photon is the energy packet. So later on, the scientist Heinrich Hertz confined that the nature of light is on the basis of the experiment demonstrating the production and detection of electromagnetic wave. But during this experiment in 1887, Hertz noticed that the sparks are occurred more rapidly in the air gap of transmitter when the ultraviolet light is directed at one of the metal ball. Then in 1888, the scientist Hallwatch carried out experiment to explain the observation of the Hertz experiment, and that observations made by the Hallwatch are like this one. So it considers the zinc plate. So consider the zinc plate. So here is the zinc plate, then here is the one. Consider another zinc plate and consider another zinc plate. Then ultraviolet light is incident on the zinc plate. Then whatever these three types of the zinc plate, so one is a neutral zinc plate is there. Then another one is negatively charged zinc plate, and next one is a positively charged zinc plate. So for these three types, whenever Hallwatch performed the experiment and made the observation that whenever the ultraviolet light is incident on this neutral zinc plate, then this plate becomes positively charged. So this plate becomes positively charged. This is the first observation. Then second observation is when the ultraviolet light is incident on this negatively charged zinc plate, then it lose or lost charges rapidly. And third observation is when the ultraviolet light was incident on this positively charged zinc plate, then this plate becomes more positive. So in this way, these three conclusions are these three observations are drawn, and he comes to the conclusion that only negatively charged particles can be emitted by the surface under the action of ultraviolet light. That means whenever ultraviolet light is incident on the surface, then only negative charged particles are emitted. So these are the observations. Then whatever the Hertz performed the experiment, that experiment is represented by this simple way, that consider this evacuated glass tube. Then in this evacuated glass tube, here consider the metal that acts as a emitter. Then here is another plate that is acts as a collector, and here is considered as a ammeter. Then here across it you can use the voltmeter, and here is the battery is connected, negative positive with the help of required variable rheostat, so variable resistance, so negative positive. And on this zinc metal plate, here you can focus the light, so light is incident, here is the source of light. So this is the simple Hertz experiment, or it is also called as Hertz apparatus. So simple Hertz apparatus. So here what will it indicate, that here whenever this light is incident on this plate, then depending upon the situation different things are happen, that is nothing will be happen or something will be happen, or the electrons are emitted, and whatever that electrons are emitted, that are goes in this direction, then that is collected by this cathode, and whatever this not cathode but it is collector, so that is collected by the collector, and then the current is flowing in this circuit, that is indicated by the ammeter, or it can be also used by the galvanometer. So you can also use galvanometer. So here whatever this experiment is performed, depending upon this experiment, this represent photoelectric emission. That means here whenever the particular frequency light is incident on this metal, then the emission of electron is begins. So whatever these electrons are emitted, that electron is called as photoelectron, and the process of emission of electron from this metal when illuminated by the light of suitable wavelength is called as a photoelectric emission, and this effect is called as a photoelectric effect. So this is the photoelectric effect, in which it is depend upon the particular frequency. Using this photoelectric effect, there are the laws of the photoelectric effect. So what law explain about the photoelectric effect is laws of photoelectric effect. Laws of photoelectric effect is, first one is, as you can start from the initial frequency. Suppose from this point we have started and we are going to increase the frequency. So suppose in this way we are increasing the frequency. So whenever the frequency is increases, consider that up to this point from the emitter plate there is a no emission of electron. So up to this frequency nothing is happen, but consider that at this point of frequency, that means after increasing this frequency at this point, suppose the electron of photoelectron is begins. So therefore what will be happen? This frequency, that means the minimum frequency at which the emission of photoelectron is begins, that frequency is called as a threshold frequency. It is a threshold frequency, that is a minimum frequency. That means alternatively it is known as the maximum wavelength at which the emission of photoelectron is begins. That wavelength is known as a threshold wavelength. Then the second point is about the intensity. So what is happening in the intensity? So generally consider the bulb, then we consider it as a suppose a 40 watt, then 60 watt, then 100 watt, 200 watt. So whenever a single color bulb changes its wattage, that means there is an increase in the intensity. That means 40, 60, 100, 200. So intensity is increases for the same color of the bulb, and so it is intensity. And for the frequency, whenever the color is changes, then there is a change in the frequency. So using this one, the strength of photoelectric current is proportional to intensity of incident light greater than the threshold frequency. That means effect takes place after the threshold frequency. So strength of photoelectric current proportional to the intensity of the incident light. Then the third point is velocity and energy depend upon frequency. Velocity and energy depend upon frequency that are not depend upon the intensity. The fourth one is, it is a instantaneous process. It is a instantaneous process. That means whatever the time lag is not more than 3 into 10 raised to minus 9 seconds. So therefore immediate process it takes place, therefore it is known as the instantaneous process. So in this way these are the four laws of the photoelectric effect. So emission of photoelectron from illuminated metal surface is confined later on by the scientist Lenard's, and therefore that the Lenard's experiment, that point we will see in as a study in the next point. Thank you.